Ethan slammed his palm on the podium. I reject the ownership oath. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Towering Veyron nobles froze, their iridescent scales flashing in the holographic lights. Chancellor Odrin Kale's forearms clenched, his central eyes narrowing at the human envoy from Terra. Princess Scifi Vera stood rigid on the dais, her lithe form draped in ritual silks that shimmered like liquid starlight, her elongated neck arched, violet eyes locking onto Ethan's. She was no fragile ornament. Her stance screamed trained lethality. "You dare?" Kale boomed, voice echoing off vaulted ceilings. "Envoy Cole, this ritual binds our alliance. The princess is your prize for brokering the trade pact." Ethan kept his voice steady. "Not a prize. Not ownership. Record it now. I'm no slave owner." Hollow recorder's word to life, capturing every word. Captain Rook Thalan, the guard commander, gripped his plasma lance tighter, his armored bulk shifting protectively before Scifi. Scifi raised a clawed hand. Protocol 47, Alpha invokes the consent clause. Her tone sliced clean, authoritative. No bond forms without my affirmation. Court must recognize. Murmurs erupted. Archivist Mer Quen, the squat liaison with data tendrils sprouting from his skull, tapped his console furiously. Verified. Ancient right. Princess overrides. Kale's scales darkened to crimson fury. Insolence. This human spits on our throne. He gestured sharply. Seal the chamber. No one leaves until this insult resolves. Bulkhead doors hissed shut, locking with a resonant thud. Guards snapped to positions. Ethan felt the air thicken, recyclers humming louder against rising tension. Scifi's gaze flicked to him. Not fear, assessment. Call advanced, towering over Ethan's 1.8-meter frame. "You reject the god's will, Terran? Explain before I declare you saboteur." Ethan met those multifaceted eyes. Humans fixed problems. This was a system glitch, political code demanding rewrite. "Your ritual treats her like cargo. I came to engineer bridges, not chains. Propose a trial instead. Public competence contest. I win. Alliance holds on equal terms. She chooses her path." Scifi tilted her head, scales rippling curiosity. Fallon grunted skepticism. "Humans lack Veyron vigor." "What trial?" "Palace core systems," Ethan said. "Your fusion grid's been flickering. Logs show microfractures in the containment fields. I fix it live, under watch. Prove worth through action, not oaths." Quen's tendrils buzzed. Scans confirm anomalies. Sabotage suspected. Kale hesitated, calculating. A public win bound Ethan tighter than any oath. Debt via spectacle. Accepted. Dawn cycle. Fail, and Terra loses her envoy. Ethan nodded. Time bought. Scifi stepped closer as nobles dispersed under guard escort. Her scent, ozone and spice, cut through the sterile air. "You risk much, human," she murmured, voice a silken blade. "Why shield me?" Ethan adjusted his toolkit sling. "Fix the grid, fix the politics." Her claw brushed his arm. Light, testing. Warmth spread. Alien yet electric. Veyron's bond for life. Consent means scrutiny. Fallon loomed. "Princess, he's unproven. I guard you." She waved him off. "He interrupted for me. Watch." Chamber cleared, but tension lingered. Ethan reviewed schematics on his wristpad. Veyron tech blended biocircuits with plasma flows, elegant, fragile under stress. Human engineering thrived on redundancy. He'd adapt. Hours ticked. Scifi shadowed him to quarters, Thalan trailing. "Your species puzzles," she said. "No hierarchies of scale? No ritual dominance?" Ethan patched a sim. "We collaborate. One brain, one fix. Grid model stabilized. You train warriors. We train fixers." Her laugh chimed, low. "Fixers conquer quietly." Dawn broke in simulated glory. Holosuns blazing. Arena thronged. Nobles, guards, hollows beaming galaxy-wide. Core chamber loomed central. Fusion sphere pulsing erratically. Kale announced, "Trial. Stabilized the heart of Veyra Prime. Tools only. No aids." Ethan entered the vault. Heat battered. Ozone sharp. Diagnostics screamed. Fractures, spider webbing, containment lattice. Sabotage. Deliberate harmonic sabotage. He cracked seals. Biogel oozed. Veyron repair tissue sluggish. Human hands moved precise. Clamp, splice, reroute power via jury rig conduit. Sweat stung eyes. Alarms wailed. Sphere bucked. Containment breach imminent. Quen broadcast. Fallon barked orders outside. Scifi watched via feed, claws clenched. Ethan wedged in, fingers dancing. Human norm. Improvise. Effused a graphene weave from his kit. Terra standard. Bridging fractures. Pulses synced. Gel accelerated, guided by microcurrent. Sphere hummed steady. Lights bloomed full. Arena erupted. Kale approached as Ethan emerged, wiping gel. You succeed. Alliance holds. Ethan faced Scifi on the dais. Camera zoomed. Princess, no oath. Your choice. Silence crushed. Her eyes searched his. Pupils dilating, a Veyron tell of intrigue. You see me. She extended a hand, palm up. Not trophy. Ethan Cole, I consent. Nobles hissed. Kale recoiled. Impossible. Forbidden. Thalen knelt. He proved. Honor demands. Quen nodded. Log sealed. Bond legal. Ethan clasped her hand. Scales meshed skin. Firm. Alive. Her touch ignited cross-species spark. Kale stormed off, whispering to aides. Intrigue simmered. Scifi leaned close. They'll strike now. Protect me still. Always. Ethan's grip tightened. One fix led to another. But shadows moved in the throng. A cloaked figure slipped toward the vents. Sabotage source? Ethan tensed. Game just started. Ethan yanked Scifi behind the dais pillar. His free hand snapped to his belt scanner. The cloaked figure darted low through the crowd, hood blending with noble robes. Vents hissed steam above the arena floor. Thalen, Ethan barked. Intruder! Vents Sector 3. Captain Rook Thalen whirled, crest flaring. Guards surged. The figure vanished into grating. Phelan's squad sealed exits. Kale stormed back, robes swirling. Cole, you disrupt protocol. Protocol almost killed her. Ethan kept his grip on Scifi's hand. Her scales warmed against his palm. We negotiate now. Private. No audience. Scifi's tail flicked approval. Pupils dilated wider. Trust signal. Kale's mandibles clicked. Absurd. Court witnesses all. My terms. Ethan faced him square. Secure chamber. Translator audit first. One slip, deals off. Nobles murmured. Quen stepped forward, data pad glowing. Envoy Cole invokes Trade Concord Article 17, audit mandatory for high-stakes bonds. Kale's eyes narrowed. Very well, but haste. Thalen cleared a path. Ethan pulled Scifi close, scanning for tails. Her scent, ozone and spice, cut through arena reek. Cloaked threat lingered in his mind. They entered a warded chamber off the arena. Hollow seals locked with a pulse. Quen activated translator nodes. Fallon posted at the door, logging entries. Scan the box. Ethan nodded at the translator array. Full diagnostic. Run idiom stress test. Quen complied. Lights flickered. Anomalies detected. Subtle vector shifts. Subtle vector shifts. Eyes sharp. Test me, Ethan Cole. Speak the binding right idiom. Veil yields to the chosen storm. Ethan repeated it slow. Translators hummed. Her version spat back. Surrender to the victor's gale. Scifi's claws dug into the cushion.
Slipped. Veil yields means mutual reveal, not surrender.
Consent, not submission. Ethan's jaw tightened. One word. Hooked Kale's trap. Caught it. Quen. Purge the vector. Quen tapped furiously. Sabotage trace. External feed override. Kale paste. Coincidence. Proceed with right. No. Ethan pulled his field pad from his kit. Rewrite in plain trade law. No idioms. Galactic standard terms. Scifi leaned in, breath syncing with his. You shield me again. Standard up. He typed fast. Fingers flew. Clauses locked. Bond defined. Equal partners. No debt bind. Revocable by either. Protection mutual. No succession leverage. Kale snatched the pad. Scanned. Loophole closed. My succession clause, gone, was never there. Ethan met his glare. Article 47. Consent explicit. no submission implied. Scifi read over his shoulder. Her hand brushed his arm. Deliberate, plain, honest. Veyron courts twist words. You cut straight. Quen verified. Legally sound. Broadcast sealed. Phelan grunted from the door. Human logs as threat. Actions reassess. Kale hurled the pad down. This insult ends here. Guards, stand down. Scifi rose, voice steel. Cole protects. I choose. Kale's aides froze. He spat venom. Forbidden cross-bond fractures, Empire. Empire fractures on your dames. Ethan stood beside her, shoulder to shoulder. Sign or walk. Kale signed, mandibles grinding. Hollow stamp bloomed green. Scifi turned to Ethan, palm up again, bond sealed. Your way, he clasped. Sparks jumped. Bioelectric sync. Her eyes held his. Heat built. Phelan opened the door. Secure suite, now. Shadows move. They moved fast. Corridors gleamed under shield lights. Ethan scanned walls. Microsensors whirred. Scifi matched his stride, tail brushing his leg. Suite sealed behind them. Veyron luxury. Gel pools. Hollow veils. Phelan logged final scan. Princess secure. Human monitored. Log this. Ethan faced him. Vents intruder. Cloaked. Mid-height. No crest. Saboteur profile. Phelan's crest dipped. Respect. Data synced. You see threats we miss. Door hissed shut. Alone. Scifi circled him slow. They call you low status, engineer, yet you rewrite fates. Fix things. Ethan shrugged, unclipped his kit. Sphere hack today. Words now, same skill. She stopped close, pupils wide. Terrans. Improvise. Veyron's plan eons. Your chaos saves. One claw traced his jaw. Skin tingled. Species gap. Her touch electric. His warm. Test passed. He held still. More. She pressed palm to his chest. Heartbeat sync test. Veyron intimacy. His thumped steady. Hers raced. You see me. Person. Not prize. Always did. He covered her hand. Kyle wants leverage. We deny. Alarms pinged soft. Quen's voice. Intruder cornered. Aid of Kale's. Confessing sabotage. Scifi's tail coiled his ankle. One down. More plots. Ethan pulled her closer. We handle. Her lips, scaled, soft, brushed his ear. Teach me Terran improv. He grinned. Starts with trust. Sweet lights dimmed to amber. Bond ignited. But Kale's whisper network hummed outside. A data spike breached outer shields. Phelan's log glitched. Real threat inbound. Ethan's scanner beeped. He tensed. Company. Scifi armed herself. Claw sheaths extended. Together. Door rattled. Game escalated. Ruka Thalan burst in first. Blade drawn. Breach. Kale's elites. Coming for the bond scroll. Ethan grabbed his kit. Rigged the door. Buy time. Scifi nodded. My suite. My traps. They moved as one. Human ingenuity met Veyron guile. Sparks flew, literally, as Ethan Jury rigged a field disruptor from gel tubes in his graphene spool. Thalan barricaded. 2 minutes. Then we fight. Quen patched through. Scroll duplicated. Cole aims to void it publicly. No. Ethan's fingers danced. Disruptor hummed live. We prove it real. Elites hammered the door. Scifi's tail lashed. They fear us united. Door buckled. Ethan shoved the disruptor into the seam. Pulse fired. Shields inverted, slamming elites back. Phelan charged the gap. Clear! They ran corridors. Scifi's hand locked in Ethan's. Alarms wailed empire-wide. Kyle waited in the grand hall, nobles arrayed. Halt! Bond illegal. Submit the scroll. Ethan held it high, audited. Signed. Trade law binds. Scifi stepped forward. I consent. Crowd gasped. One mistranslated word had nearly doomed them. Now, truth stood. Kale lunged for the scroll. Thalan blocked. Quen broadcast the audit logs. Vectors exposed. Nobles turned. Whispers swelled to roar. You lose, Ethan said quiet. Kyle snarled. This human changes everything. Scifi pulled Ethan close. For the better. But in the shadows, another cloak stirred. Chancellor's reserve plan. Assassins vectored on the human alone. Ethan's scanner pinged again. He squeezed her hand. Not over. Her eyes met his. Fire. We end it. Alliance forged in fire. Shadows closed. Chancellor Kale strode into the grand hall, flanked by aides bearing silver trays. Steam curled from ornate plates laden with seared Vera flanks, crystal fruits, and bubbling sauces. A peace offering, Kale declared, voice smooth as polished obsidian, for the human envoy and his consort. Eat. Witnesses observe compliance. Ethan Cole sat rigid beside Princess Sci-Fi, her scaled hand brushing his under the table. Nobles lined the walls, eyes sharp. The air hummed with forced civility after the scroll's triumph. Kale's smile didn't reach his eyes. Ethan's fingers itched for his kit. He kept his face neutral. Appreciated, Chancellor. Servants placed the plates, one before Ethan rich with dark glaze, one for Sci-Fi, lighter fare studded with glowing berries. Kale's chief aide, a wiry Veyron named Lierce, hovered close, gesturing for them to begin. Sci-Fi's tail flicked once against Ethan's boot, signal for caution. She leaned forward, inhaling deeply. Ethan caught the faint acrid tang beneath the spices. His pulse quickened. Protocol first, Sci-Fi said, voice regal. She signaled a servant. Taste test the offerings. Kale chuckled. Unnecessary pomp. This is peace. Ethan ignored him. He slipped his field sensor from his cuff. A compact Terran unit, no bigger than a stylus, thumbed it active. The device hummed softly, its tip glowing blue as he swept it over his plate. Red light flared. Cardiac glycoside, Ethan said flatly. Veyron heartstopper. Lethal dose in one bite. Targets human physiology. Mine specifically. Gasps rippled through the hall. Nobles leaned in. Kale's face tightened. Absurd. Your toy lies. Sci-Fi's eyes locked on Ethan, fierce approval flashing. She moved like liquid silver, under cover of protocol flourish. Raising her goblet in salute, she swapped the plates with fluid grace. Her tail coiled protectively around Ethan's ankle. Now, she commanded Lierce, as Chancellor's proxy, you sample first. Tradition demands it. Lierce froze, mandibles clicking. Princess, I eat. Sci-Fi's tone brooked no refusal. Witnesses murmured assent. Refusal broke court code. Kyle stepped forward. This delays nothing. Lierce's claws trembled as he forked a chunk of Ethan's swapped plate. He chewed, swallowed. Seconds ticked. His chest heaved. Foam bubbled at his mouth. He collapsed, convulsing. Chaos erupted. Captain Rukoth Allen burst from the guards line, blade drawn. Poison confirmed. He pinned Lierce, who gasped his last. Lock down the kitchens. No one in or out. Nobles shouted. Kyle barked orders, but Rook ignored him, eyes on Ethan. Your rules, human. Chain of custody. Now. Ethan nodded, already on his feet. Isolate the trays. Scan every ingredient. Log handlers. He directed servants with crisp gestures, his sensor pinging samples. Bayrons gaped at the efficiency. No hesitation, no hierarchy. Sci-Fi stood at his side, her presence a shield. Her hand found his again, squeezing. You saw it first. Saved us. Team effort, Ethan murmured. Heat rose in his chest at her touch. Scales warm, grip firm. Forbidden, they called it. He didn't care. Rook sealed the hall doors. Kitchens secured. Trays quarantined per Terran protocol. He glanced at Ethan, respect cracking his stoic mask. Your methods, precise. We waste no time. Archivist Mer Quinn slipped through the cordon, datapad glowing, logs traced to Kale's private stores. Sabotage vector clear. Call whirled on her. Lies. That fool Lierce acted alone. Alone? Ethan countered, holding up his sensor readout for all to see. Spectral peaks glowed damning. Your aide sampled my plate. Toxin keyed to human cardiac rhythm. Public scans confirm it, not random. Nobles pressed closer, whispers turning hostile. One elder hissed. Chancellor engineers his own fall. Sci-Fi faced Kyle, chin high. You treat me as prize, human as pawn. No more. She turned to Ethan, voice softening for his ears alone. You see me. Not trophy. Ethan met her gaze, golden eyes holding storms. Her scent, spice and storm filled his senses. Always did. Rook hauled Kale's remaining aides into custody. Interrogations begin. Human overseas. Kale snarled, thrashing against guards. This upstart changes nothing. The bond voids under law. Law binds it, Quinn interjected, projecting the audited scroll. Trade clauses enforce consent. Witnesses here affirm. Ethan catalogued the trays methodically, marking seals with graphene thread from his spool. Veyron Tech dazzled with neural links and bioshields, but his jury-rigged chain held irrefutable proof. A young noble approached, mandibles wide in awe. Terrans, you treat feast as battlefield? Prevents it becoming one? Ethan replied. Scifi watched him work, tail curling near his leg. Cultural chasm bridged in glances. Her people's elaborate rituals met his blunt fixes. She leaned in. They stare. At you. Let them. He sealed the last tray. Done. Rook clapped Ethan's shoulder, rare Veyron gesture. Kitchens yield confessions by dawn. Your vigilance saves the throne. Kale spat from custody. Assassins still hunt the human. My reserves end this. Ethan's scanner pinged, a faint signal spike. Assassins? His hand tightened on Scifi's. Shadows in the hall's edges stirred. Not if we move first, Scifi said, fire in her eyes. She pulled him toward the exit, nobles parting, together. Rook fell in behind. Quinn patched schematics. Alarms hummed low. Pursuit inbound. Ethan grinned despite the odds. Her trust burned brighter than any poison. They plunged into corridors, alliance unbreakable. But the scanner spiked again, closer. Multiple signatures. Kale's laugh echoed. Run, human, Veyron guile endures. Scifi bared fangs. Not against us. Ethan primed his disruptor spool. Game on. Scifi slammed her palm against a concealed hatch. It hissed open, revealing a narrow maintenance corridor pulsing with dim blue conduits. She yanked Ethan inside and sealed it behind them. Surveillance webs everywhere, she hissed, tail lashing. Kale's eyes. We cut them out. Ethan nodded, scanner already humming in his grip. Footsteps echoed from the main hall, pursuit closing fast. He sprinted after her, boots scraping grated floors slick with condensation. Veyron engineering gleamed, walls alive with fiber optic veins carrying data streams. She veered left at a junction, claws scraping access panel. Here. Ventilation grid bypasses the core halls. Ethan crouched beside her, prying the panel free. Cool air rushed out, carrying the tang of ionized metal. His scanner overlaid a holographic map on his visor. Vent shafts twisting like a lung's bronchi, dotted with red blips. Tracking nodes. Got it, he muttered. 12 nodes in the first kilometer. They'll ping our biosignals. Scifi's eyes narrowed, golden slits reflecting his HUD glow. Destroy them, not without shorts. Sparks draw heat seekers. He unspooled monofilament from his belt rig. Terran multi-tool, jury-rigged for zero-G repairs, twisted it with scraps of thermal foil from his pocket. Improvised Faraday cage. Crude, but it blocked signals cold. He crawled into the vent first, scanner leading. Scifi followed, her lithe form brushing his back. Her scales whispered against alloy, warmer than human skin, faintly electric. Burst node, a fist-sized emitter pulsing green. Ethan wrapped his foil coil around it. The light died. He marked it cleared on the map. 3 down, he whispered after 10 minutes. Sweat beaded his brow, vents narrowed to knee height. Scifi's breath ghosted his neck, steady despite the crush. Her claw tapped his shoulder. Faster. Alarms rise. Ping. Scanner flagged a shadow in the corridor beyond. A patrol drone whirring past their exit grate. Ethan sealed the 11th node. 1 left. His spool ran low. He knotted the last thread tight, fingers steady from years fixing colony rigs. Done. They emerged into a sub-level wiring chase, cables thick as thighs bundling like pythons. Scifi pointed ahead. Power nexus. Blinds the palace grid for 30 heartbeats. Ethan synced his disruptor. On my mark. A thunderous clang shook the walls. Boots stopped. Princess Scifi. By emergency edict, surrender to guard custody. Rukata Fallon burst through a side grate. Plasma lance leveled. His armored frame filled the chase. Crest feathers flared in fury. 2 guards flanked him, visors locked on Ethan. Scifi rose, fangs bared. Stand down, Captain. The human shields me better than your oaths. Ruke's lance hummed hotter. Protocol demands it. Human taint invites scandal. Kale's assassins strike because you flaunt the forbidden bond, custody. Now, Ethan stepped forward, palms out. No weapons drawn. Yet, Captain. Check this. He tossed a data chip from his scanner. It arced clean into Rushi's gauntlet. Rushi snatched it, neural implant flickering as he scanned. His crest flattened. Sabotage logs? Kale's private codes embedded in the kitchen arrays. Planted pre-feast? Ethan said. Your bioshields masked them, but my scanner sniffed the quantum ghosts. Verifiable, cross-reference with Quen's archives. Kale rigged the trays to frame me. Trigger succession chaos. Assassins are his cleanup crew. Ruke's lance dipped a fraction. Guards shifted, exchanging mandible clicks. Subtle claim. He speaks truth. Join us, Ruhuk. Protect the line you swore to. The captain's eyes bored into Ethan. Terran tricks or vigilance? Ethan met the gaze. Test the chip. Then decide. Rook jacked it into his vambrus. Holologs bloomed. Timestamps, encrypted bursts linking to Kale's reserves. Undeniable. Rook snarled. Lance powering down. Kale's guile unravels. I escort. He waved his guards forward. Flank positions. Disruptor fire. Only on my command. Scifi exhaled, shoulder brushing Ethan's. Trust sealed in the press. They pushed deeper. Wiring chase funneled to a service vault. Fans roaring, sparks from overloaded relays. Ethan's scanner spiked, 5 signatures converging. Heat blooms from cloaked blades. Assassins, Rook growled. Kale's elites. Neural dampeners active. Into the ducts, Ethan said. They expect tunnels. We go where the air flows. Scifi nodded, popping a ceiling grate. She boosted Ethan up first, her grip iron on his waist. He hauled himself in, extending a hand. She clasped it, vaulting beside him. Rook followed last, bulk straining the frame. Tight for Veyron frames. Human-sized oversight, Ethan quipped, crawling ahead. Works for us. Ducts twisted upward, fins scraping their knees. Ethan led, scanner probing for nodes. One more blip, he shielded it mid-stride, foil muffling the shutdown. Below, blades hissed. Assassins breached the vault. Targets in vents.
Flush them.
Plasma bolts scorched the grate behind Ruok. He fired back, lance barking blue lances. Go, I hold. No, Scifi twisted, tail lashing. Together. Ethan mapped a junction ahead, main exhaust to outer spires. Fork left, pops us near the docks. They scrambled, air howled, whipping sweat from Ethan's face. Scifi's claws gouged handholds, pulling her faster. Rook grunted, shoving through a constriction. Ping, scanner screamed. Structural weak point, brace, duct buckled under bolt fire. Ethan grabbed Scifi's arm, yanking her clear as metal screamed. They tumbled into a dim access bay, rolling to feet amid sparking panels. Rook landed heavy, lance raised. Assassins poured in, free, cloaks shimmering. Vibrofangs extended. Ethan unspooled his last filament, whipping it into a garrote. Flank left! Scifi lunged, claws raking the lead assassin's faceplate. It shattered. He crumpled. Ruka impaled the second, lance-piercing bioshield like foil. Ethan dodged the third strike, filament snaring its ankle. Tripped it into a live conduit. Arcs danced, cooking armor. Silence fell, save for crackling fires. Scifi panted, golden eyes on Ethan. Her hand found his, fingers intertwining. Scales to skin. Forbidden spark. You map chaos into path. Ruke clapped Ethan's back, crest high. Terran competence. Throne owes you. Alarms wailed anew. Quen's voice crackled Ethan's calm. Cole. Kale's reserves breached the docks. Multiple shuttles inbound. He's calling off world enforcers. Ethan gripped Scifi tighter. Scanner pinged. Signatures swarming the spires. Time to fly, he said. Scifi's fangs flashed. Smile, not threat. With you, anywhere. They charged the bay door, Rue covering. Explosions rocked the palace. Kale's endgame unfolded. But Ethan's fixes bought them seconds. Seconds to turn the tide. Explosions shattered the bay door. Ethan shoved Sci-Fi behind a pillar as shrapnel rained. Ruke roared, lance sweeping debris. Clear, throne, antechamber ahead. They sprinted into the vast hall. Courtier scattered, scales flashing panic. Hollow screens flickered with Kale's face, broadcasting his claim. Traitors seized the air, enforcers inbound. Ethan scanned. Service lifts jammed, but a balcony overlooked the assembled nobles. Up there, high ground. He boosted Sci-Fi over the rail. Ruko vaulted beside her. Ethan climbed last, filament anchoring his grip. Nobles below gaped, Vera crests, warrior braids, all frozen. Sci-Fi landed center stage, claws extended, her golden eyes locked on Ethan. Witness me. She seized his hand. Scales meshed with skin, thumb pressing his palm in a spiraling mark. Warmth pulsed. Deliberate, intimate, gasps erupted, alarms blared. Crimson strobes, klaxons wailing, claiming violation. Unsanctioned bond. Ethan's pulse spiked. Courtiers surged back, crests flattening in horror. Ruke tensed, lance twitching toward them. Princess, no. Sci-Fi held firm, fangs bared in defiance. He shields me. Throne blood chooses. Ethan yanked free. His hand tingled, unmarked but branded in their eyes. Stop. Define it. Legally. What does this claiming mean? Silence crushed the hall. Sci-Fi blinked, tail lashing. Nobles whispered. Terran rejects. Sabotage. Merquin burst from a side arch, robes swirling, data slate glowing. Halt protocols. The archivist shoved through, crest neutral. Esteemed court, observe. She grabbed a guard's wrist, demonstrating palm-to-palm press, no spiral, standard accord, human variant, linear grip, no mark intent. Hollow projected overlays labeled it. Sanctioned handshake, alliance seal. Courtiers leaned in. Myrrh released the guard. Princess emulated this. Misstep, not crime. Terran seeks clarity. Honor his caution. Sci-Fi tilted her head, studying Ethan. Then she extended her hand again, under accord. Ethan met her gaze. Witnesses packed the balcony, hundreds, crests rising. He clasped. Firm, linear, no spiral. Scales cool against calluses. Her fingers tightened once. Trust, not claim. Eyes locked, gold to brown. A beat stretched. Nobles exhaled. Ruke lowered his lance. Competence tempers fire. Myrrh nodded sharply. Legal. Bond sealed as pact, not prize. Applause rippled. Tentative, then thunderous. Kale's broadcast stuttered, his image glitching. Ethan released her hand. Good. Now. Kale's shuttles. Sci-Fi's claws flexed. Docks sealed. Your fixes reroute them to void traps. Rue, Kamid, captains loyal. Kale isolated. Explosions muffled outside. Ethan's scanner pinged. Enforcers veering into kill zones he'd rigged earlier. They descended to the floor. Courtiers parted. An elder Vera approached, staff tapping. Terran Cole, prove pact. Repair the shield matrix. Kale's saboteurs frayed it. Ethan wiped sweat. Practical. His domain. Show me the core. They led him to a glowing dais. Hollow grids pulsed erratic. Energy leaks spiderwebbing. Sci-Fi stayed close, shoulder brushing his. Humans mend what we shield. He unspooled tools. You hold lines. I patch holes. Probes danced across conduits. Alien tech hummed. Biocircuits pulsing like veins. A mismatch. Vera harmonics clashing with overload surges. Here. He isolated a node, filament splicing a bypass. Sparks died. Grid stabilized. Nobles murmured approval. Meyer leaned in. Kyle engineered this prize ritual. Bind you as debtor, claim Sci-Fi via proxy debt. Your pullback. Disarmed it. Ethan straightened. Not a game. She's no chip. Sci-Fi's tail brushed his leg. Subtle. Warm. You see. Ruku grunted. Human normal. Question first. Act second. Extraordinary. Shuttles splashed into the void. Kale's voice cut mid-rant. Courtiers cheered. The elder raised his staff. Envoy Cole. Stand with air. Succession witness. Ethan glanced at Sci-Fi. Her eyes held promise, not demand. He nodded. If she chooses. She smiled. Fangs soft. chosen. But Mir's slate beeped urgent. Kyle escaped core spire. Signals to off-world allies. He's rallying exiles. Ethan checked his scanner. Anomalous pings swarmed the outer rings. They'll hit the archive vaults. Leverage data blackmail. Saeli's claws sharpened. Protected. With me. Ruuk hefted his lance. We move. They charged the vaults, Ethan plotting routes on the fly. Explosions trailed. Kale's last gambit. Seconds bought competence, but exiles inbound meant war. In the vault antechamber, shadows stirred. Kale's operatives, cloaked, vibro lances humming. One lunged at Saeli. Ethan tripped it with a flung panel, filament garroting its power core. Saeli raked another, scales drawing blood. Ruke impaled a third. Meyer sealed blast doors. Buying breath. Ethan patched a console, unlocking defenses. Turrets whirred alive, shredding reinforcements. Kale's hollow flickered on a wall panel. Fools. The right binds you. Debt eternal. Saeli snarled. Right broken. Terran honesty prevails. Ethan synced his device. Trace complete. Your exile fleet coordinates fed to throne guns. Kale's image paled. Impossible. Guns boomed distant. Silence followed. Courtiers flooded in. Elder at front. Cole. Veyra pact ratified. Stand as consort shield. Ethan looked to Saeli. Her hand hovered. Invitation. He took it. Linear grip firm. If it's choice, not chain. Her laugh chimed. Choice. Rue clapped his back. Human wins trust. We shield together. Myrrh smiled faintly. Intrigue ends, but whispers linger. Off-world courts watch. Ethan's scanner pinged anew. Inbound diplomatic shuttle. Terran Sig. His government. Finally arriving. Saeli squeezed his hand. They come for you? For us. He grinned. Ready for more cultural exchange? Her eyes sparkled. Lead, Ethan. Chaos to path. Explosions faded. But the real game, galactic eyes, opened wide. Chancellor Odorin Kale slammed his taloned fist on the podium. Holoscreens blazed across the vast court chamber, broadcasting to every stellar relay in the Veyron Dominion. Ethan Cole. The ancient rite awakens. Prove dominance over Princess Saeli Veyra. Or forfeit your claim. Subjugate her in combat. Bind her as prize. Only then does Terra earn alliance. Ethan stood rigid on the polished dais. Spotlights hot on his flight suit. Thousands of courtiers hissed in anticipation, scales rasping like dry leaves. Saeli knelt nearby, iridescent chains locking her wrists to the throne platform. Her violet eyes locked on him, not pleading, probing. He felt the weight of galactic eyes. One wrong move, and Terra's envoy became laughingstock. Now, Ethan's voice cut clear, amplified by his wrist calm. Gasps rippled through the hall. Kale's frills flared crimson. Insolence. The right is law. Combat now, or exile her to the exile's fleet. Ethan stepped forward, ignoring the guard's vibro lances humming to life. Captain Rook Thalen gripped his weapon tighter, yellow eyes narrowing at the human. Archivist Mer Quen hovered at the chamber's edge, data slate flickering with frantic notes. The princess is no prize, Ethan said. She's a person. Test me another way. That outer habitat module. Module 7. Sensors show power cascades. Life support failing. Let me stabilize it. Real proof. Live. Murmurs exploded. Kale leaned in. Fangs bared. A human distraction? The right demands blood dominance. Blood only. Saeli twisted against her chains. Voice like chiming crystal. Hear the Terran Chancellor, or expose your fear of failure. Kale's tail lashed. He signaled technicians. Holoscreens split. Court feed beside live drone cams for Module 7. Corridors buckled. Civilians clawing at sealed doors. Air recyclers whining. 5 minutes to avert cascade, where you both die disgraced. Fail, and the right resumes. Dominance or death. Clocks ticked on every screen. Ethan bolted to the central console, a nest of alien interfaces pulsing erratically. Rook snarled, blocking him. Touch nothing, Softskin. You'll doom them. Stand down, Myrrh interjected, sliding beside Ethan. Protocol allows envoy aid in crises. But hurry. Containment breach imminent. Ethan jacked his multi-tool into the port. Interfaces bloomed in holographic glyphs. Veyron script, fractal and shifting. No time for translation. He ran diagnostics blind, fingers flying, power grids inverted. Core relays fried from overload. Rerouting now. Civilians' screams echoed from feeds. A family huddled in a flickering corridor. Child's face pressed to glass. Ethan patched his comm to station-wide. Module 7 residents, this is Terran Envoy Cole. Evacuate to Base Alpha through Delta. Seal personal pods. I'll buy time. Doubt rippled back. Human lies, Kale's ploy, trust or suffocate. Ethan isolated the fault line. Alien tech favored bioneural links, efficient for Veyron's scale-linked minds. Fragile under surge. Humans jury-rigged. He bypassed with a shunt protocol, borrowing from his suit's fusion cell. Sparks flew. Console shrieked. Rook loomed closer, lance tip grazing Ethan's shoulder. You're worsing it. Pull back. Watch. Ethan cross-linked auxiliary feeds from adjacent modules. Power surged through jury-rigged paths. Human redundancy, alien elegance fused. Lights stabilized in outer bays. Pods hissed open. Civilians poured in, guided by his relayed vectors. Kale bellowed from the podium. Illusion. Drones. Show hull stress rising. Ethan gritted teeth. Hull integrity at 42%. He tapped emergency overrides, voice steady. Myrrh. Advise on ventral dampeners. Veyron specs? Myrrh's claws danced on her slate, locked behind right auth, but mutual consent statute. Princess? Scifi strained forward. Grant access, Ruka. Witness Terran worth. Rook hesitated, then keyed his command band. Dampeners word online. Ethan funneled coolant, balancing loads like threading a needle. Alarms silenced. Feeds showed families boarding shuttles. Safe. The chamber fell silent. Clocks hit 0+10. Module 7 hummed steady. Courtiers erupted. He did it. No blood, yet victory. Kale's face twisted. Coincidence. Resume dominance. No. Scifi rose, chains snapping under released locks. Myrrh's subtle override. She strode to Ethan, scales shimmering triumph gold. Camera zoomed. Under mutual consent statute, Article 9, I choose Ethan Cole as consort shield. Not prize. Partner. His competence binds stronger than any right. Ethan met her gaze, pulse racing, up close. Her scent, ozone and spice, filled his senses. You sure? This defies their script. Her hand, four-fingered, warm, clasped his. Your actions spoke. No trophy equals. Kale lunged forward. Blasphemy. Exiles claim her if. Rue stepped between them. Lance lowered. Humans saved thousands. I reassess. Shield stands with Cole. Mirror nodded. Slate beaming ratification codes to throne screens. Broadcast sealed. Galactic feeds carry the choice. Courtiers chanted. Cole. Veyra packed. Ethan scanned readouts. Module stable, but his wrist comm pinged. Subtle anomaly in vault sector. Power draw spiking. Sabotage? Scifi leaned close, breath feathering his ear. Intrigue lingers. Kale's operatives stir. He squeezed her hand. Then we face it together. Kale retreated, eyes venomous. Enjoy your choice. Debt eternal awaits. The hall thrummed with cheers. Drones captured every angle. Human humility turning conquest to salvation. Galactic feeds exploded with replays. But Ethan's scanner whispered warning. Shadows in the vault antechamber. Operatives inbound. He pulled Scifi aside. Stay sharp. Relief's just round one. Her laugh chimed low. Lead, Ethan. Chaos to path. Rue. Clapped his armored shoulder. We move. Now, they plunged into corridors, mirror sealing paths behind. Hollow screens faded, but eyes watched. Galactic, hungry. In the vault antechamber, shadows stirred first. One cloaked figure lunged at Scifi, vibrolance humming. Ethan ripped a loose panel free and flung it. Filament wires snagged the attacker's power core, shorting it mid-strike. Sparks showered. Scifi raked claws across another's throat, piercing scales, drawing thick ichor. Rook impaled a third with precise thrust, blade humming through armor. Myrrh slammed blast doors, seals hissing tight. Breached, reinforcements swarm. Ethan dove for a side console, hands blurring. Patching defenses. Root security grid. Sync turrets. Whirs echoed. Automated guns spun alive, shredding the next wave in corridor sprays. Kale's hollow flickered on a wall panel. "Fools! The right binds you! Debt eternal!" Scifi snarled, wiping ichor from claws. Right broken. Terran honesty prevails. Ethan synced his device to the palace net. Trace complete. Your exile fleet. Coordinates locked. Fed to throne guns.
Kale's image paled, frills drooping.
Impossible. Distant booms shook the deck. Guns fired. Silence crashed after. Courtiers flooded the antechamber. Elder Counselor at front. Cole. Vera pact ratified. Stand as consort shield. Ethan turned to Scifi. Her hand hovered. Open invitation. He took it. Ethan gripped Scifi's scaled hand, her claws lightly pricking his palm. A promise, not a threat. The Elder Counselor bowed low, frills flaring, to the grand chamber. Ratification awaits. Rook flanked them, blade drawn. Myrrh hustled ahead, datapad glowing. Courtiers parted like waves, whispers buzzing. Ethan matched Scifi's stride, her warmth seeping through his glove. Palace corridors blurred past, crystal walls pulsing with security lights. They burst into the grand chamber. Tiered seats overflowed with nobles, hollow feeds beaming to a dozen worlds. Chancellor Odrin Kale stood at the podium unscathed, his frills erect, no exile. A decoy fleet. "Council!" Kale's voice boomed. "I invoke the Forbidden Bond Clause!" The Terran's touch defiles royal blood. Seize Princess Scifi Vera, now. Gasps rippled. Guards shifted, eyes darting to Ruke. Ethan's pulse spiked. Goal. Expose the lie. But how? Scifi tensed beside him, claws flexing. Lies, Chancellor. The right honors choice. Kale sneered, projecting a hollow scrawl. Ancient glyphs swirled. Protocol 4-7, Alpha. Cross-species bonds void succession. Human debt binds him. Eternal servitude. Vote now. Counselors tapped pads. Tally climbed, 62% for seizure. Ethan's mind raced. Those logs. His translator audit from days ago. Kyle's tweaks to the language forging the clause. Myrrh. Ethan muttered, slipping his device free. Sync me to the central net. The archivist nodded, fingers flying. Link established. Ethan uploaded the audited logs. Raw data, timestamps intact, or forged edits glowed red in the projection. Counterproof, Ethan shouted, stepping forward. Hollow overrode Kale's. Logs expanding for all to see. Kale's frills drooped. Fabrication, Terran trickery. Check the hashes, Ethan said flatly. Blockchain verified. Your overrides. Timestamp to your terminal. Clause 4-7. Alpha never banned bonds. It required mutual audit. Counselors leaned in, pads beeping confirmations. Tally froze, then reversed, 78% against. Roop's voice cut through. Royal Security Law 19. Forgery of protocol constitutes treason. Chancellor Kale, you are under arrest. Guards surged. Kale bolted for a side exit, but Rushak's blade blocked him. 2 warriors pinned the Chancellor's arms. Coercion charges against Cole? Cleared. Evidence pure. Ale spat ichor. The human manipulated her. Debt eternal. Scifi released Ethan's hand and advanced, eyes blazing. No debt, no manipulation. I choose. The chamber fell silent. Elder Counselor rose. Princess? The pact? Scifi pulled a compact slab from her sash. Cross-species charter. Blank. She pressed thumb to censor, binding her mark, then shoved it to Ethan. Sign, Terran, as equal. Ethan hesitated 1 beat. Not a prize. A partner. He etched his print. Slab hummed, sealing galactic witness. Counselors erupted in murmurs. Scifi laced claws with his fingers again. We walk together. She turned for the exit. Ethan followed. Rook saluted, Mir grinning behind. Kale's shouts faded as blast doors hissed shut, but in the corridor a new hollow flickered. Off-world transmission. Imperial crest. Vera. Report. Scifi straightened. Father. Pact ratified. Consort shield secured. The Emperor's image sharpened. Frills imperial. A human? Explained. Ethan squeezed her hand. Galactic eyes watched. Hunger sharpened. Sci-Fi met the holo gaze. He saved me thrice. Fixed what your protocols broke. Competence. Not crowns. The Emperor's silence stretched. Then, trial period. 1 cycle. Prove it or forfeit. Holo winked out. Sci-Fi exhaled, leaning into Ethan. 1 cycle. We build. Ru-K clapped Ethan's shoulder. Human normalcy. Extraordinary. They moved deeper into the palace, shadows lengthening. Whispers followed. Galactic, now allied. But Ethan spotted a glint in the vents. Saboteur remnant? His free hand twitched toward a panel. Sci-Fi noticed. Ready? Always. Hours blurred into prep. Ethan patched Sci-Fi's quarters. Reinforced doors. Sensor webs. She watched. Tail flicking approval. You fight like us, she said, sharpening claws on a whetstone. No flare. Just end. Engineer's way. Ethan sealed a conduit. Break the system. Rebuild stronger. Murr arrived with crates. Cultural tomes, Terran tech manuals. Exchange starts now. Avoid faux pas. Ruko posted guards outside. Kale's allies scatter. But Emperor tests. Night cycle dimmed lights. Sci-Fi poured nectar. Sharp. Electric on Ethan's tongue. Terran drink? Coffee later. He grinned. This works. Her laugh purred, low. Claws traced his arm. Testing. Teasing. Differences intrigue. Heat built. Ethan pulled her close, scales cool against skin. Kiss landed soft, then fierce. No rush, trust, earned. Alarms blared mid-embrace. Breach! They sprang apart. Ethan grabbed his multi-tool. Ruke burst in. Perimeter. Poison drone. Sci-Fi snarled, donning armor. Ethan hacked the drone feed. KL loyalist signature. Tracked. Vent shaft. East. They pursued. Drone buzzed into open-air duck. Ethan yanked grate, plunged arm in. Fingers clamped servos, crushed. Drone sparked, plummeted. Rook speared it mid-fall. Clean.
Sci-Fi gripped Ethan's wrist, checking for cuts.
Reckless. Effective. Murr analyzed wreckage. Emperor's test accelerates. Proof of shield. Dawn cycle broke. Hollow summon. Grand chamber again. Council assembled. Emperor presiding remotely. Trial begins, the voice boomed. Vera Cole, defend the fringe outpost. Sabotage confirmed. Kael's web. Sci-Fi nodded. We go. Ethan packed gear. Terran hacksaw. Diagnostic suite. Aliens excelled at blade work. Neural links. Humans. Improvise. Endure. Shuttle bay hummed. Ruko briefed. Outpost falls, packed voids. Ethan met Sci-Fi's eyes. Won't. Launch. Thrust pinned them. Stars streaked. Her hand found his. Bond sealed, not forced. Outpost loomed. Dreadnought scars. Power flickering. Docking clamped. Airlock cycled. First breach. Silent. Ethan swept with scanner. Traps ahead. Sci-Fi scented air. Icor. Recent kill. They advanced. Boots silent on deck plate. Rook point. Blade humming. Murr mapped rearguard. Ambush erupted. Mercs in shadows. Plasma lancing. Sci-Fi dodged, claws rending one's throat. Rook parried bolts, counter-thrusting. Ethan rolled, yanked emergency vent. Steam blasted blinding foes. He patched a wall console. Gravity flip. Merciless spun. Attackers slammed ceilings, bones cracking. Outcome, clear. Core chamber, generator sabotaged. Coolant, leaking. Ethan dove in, hands blurring, bypass relays, weld fractures. Hiss stopped, lights flared. Sci-Fi guarded his back. Icor splattered. Done. Solid. Ku sealed the room. Murr transmitted. Outpost secure. Imperial hollow bloomed. Impressive. Human variable. Stabilizes. Sci-Fi smirked at Ethan. Told you. Back in palace, council ratified full. No prize.